What's up, otakus? It's your tour guide here. I know I told you we were gonna, you know, lay off comic buying and doing all that, and for the most part, we have. Um, but as you know, I'm kind of in debt. I'm not in debt literally, but I'm in debt with my comic budget. My wife kind of keeps accounting for me from Japan, like she has access to our accounts and stuff. So she's been letting me know yeah, that I kind of overspent the last paycheck. And so it's not a big deal. So I'm just trying to, I know exactly how much is coming in. So what's coming in will cover um, what I'm in the red on. And yeah, basically, it gives me a little bit of leeway. I think if I spend, $20 to $30, I'm still safe, but it'll just again come out of the next paycheck, which is this Friday. It's coming this Friday. So um, I don't know if I'm going to hit up more shops though, because um, I do have an order with Ethan over at Destiny City Comics right now. And that's about $140. So we haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. I may have to take out some books. But for the most part, I've let Ethan know I'm planning to come in the middle of the month after my next, so I not this pay period, but the next pay period, upcoming pay period. um, so that'll give me a little bit of leeway and some, flexibility in terms of paying Destiny City Comics off. So essentially, with what I'm minus in and with a couple of the books that I'm eyeing, um, I don't know how much we'll be able to save from this paycheck. You know, we'll just have to see. There are some things I want to pick up, and uh, I also want to save as much of it as I can. But it's just this balance. But we spent $22.50 today at Half Price Books. Actually, this is two trips. I one haul from the Redmond store, which uh, we only spent 350 from the Redmond, and only picked up three books for 350. Um, the other 10 books we picked up today, and we spent a little under $20. So just with tax and everything, it's going to be over $24. But in terms of pre-tax, what we paid for the book, um, that's what we're focusing on. So yeah, I guess, and ignore the price tags here. I've moved some of the bags around, so I'll let you know what I paid for each book. We'll start here with Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunter. This is, I think, the first of the series. There was a one shot, and then this is the first of the series. And this has a couple first appearances. It's apparently a key issue. Picked it up for half a cover, which is this is $4.99. So we picked it up for about $2.50. $2.50 right there. This one, I actually, it's a book that I've been wanting, um, and we wanted it in high grade. We wanted it a newsstand, and we got it. It's The Adventures of Superman 500 newsstand copy from the 90s. 93, this book came out, and this is, of course, after the Superman comes back. He's resurrected and he comes back. Um, this has a bunch of first appearances, I think, in this issue. There's several first appearances. It's key. Again, got it for $1.25, half a cover. Bellevue still maintaining the half a cover policy on some of the books. But this one, yeah, $1.25. That newsstand, this is a square bound book, so just looks pristine. It looks like it's never been opened. Great pickup. Again, the newsstand copy, really hard to nail down, but this is, we're able to do it. So yeah, we're 2 books in. Again, $1.25 for that. $2.50 for the previous book. So we're already, like close to, $3.50, about close to $4 we've spent on 2 books. In fact, if you kind of do the math, 13 books for what did we say, $23.50. If you do the math, it works out to about under $2 a book, just under $2 a book. So keep that in mind while we're going through it, as I reveal the prices we paid. This is one we paid $3 for. We paid $3 for Amazing Spider-Man #1 Legacy 895. This is a variant edition from Things from Another World. I forget the artist's name, forgive me, but it's only 1,000 copies of this were made. And I was like, wow, okay. So I picked it up. It's actually a really cool, very artistic cover. You see Spidey sense going off, and the reason it's going off, I guess, is because there's a spider there. And that's supposed to be some kind of, I guess, danger. Very colorful, very vibrant cover. I think it's a beautiful artwork. Again, 1,000 copies were only produced, so if this artist blows up, or maybe this issue and this particular variant is the choice for this issue, well, we have it. So Amazing Spider-Man #1. I think this is volume like 8 or 9 or something on the Spider-Man. It's a rather recent book. All right, the next one was just a cover by. This is everything from here on out. They're pretty much cover buys. So this we paid also $2.50 for, and that's Strange Academy #1. This is the 3rd printing. It has about like $10 value. Again, this is really high grade. With the press, it's in the 9s. I just like it for the Humberto Ramos Doctor Strange cover there with the youngins. It's a very dynamic, artistic cover. I like it. The 3rd printing cover is, I think, the cover of choice. So paid $2.50 for that, half a cover. We also paid half a cover for these. These are also going to be $2.50 each. This is Dark Knight's Death Metal #3. I think it's the 2nd appearance of Robin King. This is Dark Knight's Death Metal #4. Just a great Capullo cover. And I could have picked up #7. It's still there. Really, it's a nice graded copy, high grade copy. But I just didn't want to pick up everything. I mean, so this is the thing. Half price books, they completely rotated out the old books and put it up all new books. And so it was just a field day for the local guys, there's a guy named Dave here who's local. He and we've just become friends at the Half Price Books counter. He and I are there probably the most of anybody in this community. And so we're always running into each other. He's there, I think, every day. He's obsessed. I mean, I've never seen someone more obsessed about comic books than that guy. But he picked up a lot of good stuff, and that's what really blows. He was showing me what he had, and I was just like, oh man, I just like if I had beaten you here. But anyway, that guy's just on top. I thought I was on top of it, of the inventory coming in. He is way more on top of it because he's practically there every day, and I can't keep up with that. So anyway, I like this. I like this Dark Knight's death metal. I think because it introduces sort of the Batman who laughs and sort of a darker take on a lot of these characters. I thought it was pretty cool. So hoping it goes somewhere. So, but just got it for the cool foil. They're not foil. They're kind of like yeah, they're foil, cardstock foil, I guess. Cardstock foil covers by Greg Capullo. They're pretty cool. This one, I had this one a while back, and I just was able to sell it in like a bundle package. But I got because I sold it because the grade wasn't that great. So I sold it just like super cheap. This one though, the grade is high grade, and so we picked it up, and it's Hit Girl #2. Great John Romita Jr. cover there. Yeah, just a great Hit Girl cover. So paid $1.50 for this one, half a cover, $2.99, $1.50. Picking up a lot of good value, I think, from this haul. This one I had to look up, and when we looked it up, it was a $25 book. So real happy to pick this one up. This is high grade. I got to get in a better bag, actually. This bag, the bag makes it look like it has a big old spine tick, but it's not. There's no spine tick there. And that's Black Cat #11. This is a key issue because I guess it's the first appearance, debut of one of her armor. But it's just this great J. Scott Campbell cover as well, with a bunch of cats there, alley cats around Black Cat, and yeah, I hope they do. I hope they do develop Black Cat as a character. I think it'd be good to have Spider-Man develop sort of a love, arch enemy kind of relationship, which is what you have in Black Cat, right? That's exactly what she represents. So I think having her, as a character in the MCU would be kind of cool. And so hopefully they do. You'll see like Black Cat solo movies or something. But got that. It's a nice cover again, and again, $25 book. Couldn't leave it there, so we picked it up for half a cover, which was $3.99, half $2. Paid $2 for that one. Paid $2 for this one as well. And that is this beautiful. This is. I know she has another Ghost Rider cover that's sick. I think it's the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider one. She has a cover of that, and it looks amazing. But this one, I think it tops that one. This is Ghost Rider Peach Momoko variant cover. It's part of the Marvel universe of Peach Momoko. So this is variant cover that's just very like it's a black cover. And again, she's creating all this effect from a black canvas. Um, yeah, I don't know how she went about creating this piece of art, but it is just like, all her covers are just um, really incredible. I love her. I love the skull there, how she does the skull. You know, like you can see that yeah, you can see the person's face really, sort of the outline of it. All right, and we're going to contrast that Peach Momoko cover with another Peach. We've been finding more Peach Momoko at Half Price Books. Before it was like a Peach Momoko desert, but now because she's so put out so much work, you're finding her books, and I don't even pick them up all of them up now. I mean, there was a Psylocke cover that I already have. I mean, it's a beautiful cover, but I was like, I don't need a double of that, so we just left it there. But this one we do not have, and it is my favorite Usagi Yojimbo cover. This is something I would take to a signing. I will probably go and get this signed by Sansakai down at Rose City when we go down there, and that is in anticipation of someday meeting Peach Momoko and having both Peach and Stan, because we didn't. They were at San Diego together. I wasn't there, but apparently they were signing books together, double signing books. That would have been incredible to take this book down there and do, but we're going to do it the sort of the long way, which is get Stan's signature first, and then we'll focus on Peach's down the road. Now, Peach was supposed to be at Rose City Comic Con, mind you, but she kind of backed out. I'm still hoping there's a late announcement that she's back in, like she gets her schedule dealt with, and then she contacts the Rose City folks, and of course the Rose City folks will make space for her, even if they have to um, kick somebody out or divert them. But yeah, that would just be awesome if she could make that event as well, like she promised. But um, we all know how schedules go, and so if she's truly busy and she can't make it, then she can't make it. But yeah, this cover just is. Uh, I mean, aside from uh, the great depiction of Usagi there, Yojimbo there, Usagi Yojimbo. Um, it's a great you know characterization. If you look at all the layers um, that create this sort of frame, right? So it looks like a playing card, or like something where it's like telling a fortune, maybe, um, or there's meaning to some of the symbols there. There's like waves. There's waves into clouds into foam or something. It's really hard to tell what. Um, there's also ribbons. There's flowers, and again, it's just like this. You have like a flower and a sword there, kind of crisscrossing, which is very yeah, like a four-leaf clover, luck, and a sword. So something organic, something um, like a metal, and they're kind of crossing to kind of represent um, how, I guess it's just representing the rabbit. The rabbit is both, right? Both the clover and the sword. Um, Here we have, okay, so I picked up 3 Jim Lee books on this haul. One I packed away. It's a newsstand. No, sorry. It's a newsstand copy of X-Men Volume 2, number, I think, I want to say it's 9. No, sorry. Yeah, I want to say it's issue 9. It's the Wolverine and Ghost Rider battling um, in that Jim Lee run. So it's um, for those of you that collect, you guys will know X-Men Volume 2. I think it's issue number 9. It may be issue number 10, but I'm pretty positive it's issue number 9. Anyway, we got the newsstand. I just put it in my little books. We got that for a quarter, for 25 cents. Now, it's not, there's a lot of spine stress, but for the most part, I would say it's a good VF copy. Yeah, there's some spine ticks and stuff. Probably needs a press, but overall, I'd say it'd come back high grade VF copy. So that we again picked up for a quarter, which could be the book of the haul. We also got this for half a cover, and this is the first Jim Lee Shazam cover I have seen. I'm just wondering, he's probably done Shazam on a cover at some point, but anyway, this is, I think, a more recent one. I'm not sure when this came out. I'll have to look it up. But it does say variant editions, so this is the Jim Lee variant. Love how they did the color and the inking on this one. Just very dark cover with that bright lightning flashing, and then you got him doing this like total superhero pose right there, Jim Lee superhero pose. That is pretty freaking awesome. All right, last book. We paid a quarter for this one as well, and they've had X-Men ones in the past there, and usually if it's half a cover, which would be 75 cents, or something. Now if you found this at the Redmond store, they would have priced this at $1.99. But for some reason, or whatever forces led someone to put it in a bag. First of all, it was in a bag, sorry, and then put the 25-cent sticker on the bag. I changed bags, so I wanted to show the front and back, so I changed it. But yeah, we got X-Men number 1. Nothing special, This is a $10 book, and again, this is very high grade. I would put this, in the 9s, maybe a 9.2. There's really very, very little wrong with this book. And again, it's got the Bo Jackson insert. It's a complete book. Picked it up for a quarter. So, I think this is definitely the book of the haul if we're talking about, in terms of value and what we collect. I think this is my 3rd copy of this specific cover. And we don't mind, especially when we pick them up for a quarter. Again, I put kind of a cap. I won't pay more than $2 for X-Men 1, but with that being said, we've been able to pick up all our X-Men 1s, multiple copies, for $2 or less. So I'm sticking to that rule, but I do know, not at half-price books necessarily, but I do know people are picking up more Jim Lee, and Jim Lee stuff is kind of getting separated and priced and, marked up because it's Jim Lee. mean, that's always been the case a little bit. When I first got in, people were, Jim Lee books were hot. Everybody wanted to own Jim Lee books, but it's become more so now. So yeah, I mean, again, to get Jim Lee books for a quarter, with the X-Men 11 is, or sorry, 9, and then to get the Shazam cover, man, that just instantly becomes one of the favorites. We love Shazam. And this Peach Momoko cover, man, I love this Peach Momoko cover, and we want to get this one signed by Stan at Rose City. So I am looking forward to Rose City Comic Con. I will be there. We're gonna get the tickets. We're gonna reserve some money. Those are my goals. So that will take place, and I'll hang out with Damien down there in Portland, and that's gonna be so much fun. Just a nice way to kind of say goodbye to summer and uh, the con season. Look forward to next year. All right, well, thanks for hanging out, guys. Just wanted to share my haul. Again, we're getting paid this Friday, so we'll see how much. I may just keep it on the down low for now, because I know even if I do hit the comic shops, I'm not going to run into the 2 books I am looking for. So I think my best uh, mode of attack at this point is either to save and get the books at Rose City Comic Con, those 2 books that I'm looking for. I know I will find it there, and I know I'll get competitive pricing there, because literally most sellers will have it. So that is our sort of, I guess, uh, resolution to the summer, picking up those 2 books and getting a bunch of signatures. Books signed. Maybe having like a budget of a couple $100 to go look for books, older books, the books that we want to add to our collection. But for the most part, I want to keep it very low key. In fact, I don't want to pay for signatures. I am hoping everybody at least has like a 1 book, 1 signature policy. So we're gonna minimize. There's a lot of artists there. I only want 1 book signed by Adam Hughes. I only want 1 book signed by Stan Sakai. I only want 1 book signed by Dustin Nguyen. But we're gonna pick up a lot of signatures. There's a bunch of guys that are like Simon Bisley. I have 1 book specifically I got for him to sign. Art Adams is another guy. We may want to get a couple books signed by him. So at least 1 will get signed, and then there's another one. We may get that one, and if he's charging, we may get that one signed as well. I'm just hoping people aren't charging to begin with, because then that makes it difficult. Um, you know, if Art Adams is charging, then we'll definitely just get 1 book signed. So we'll just play it by ear. But yeah, there's a couple months between. Well, it's already August, so actually, yeah. I mean, we're coming down to about a month and a half. So I've got maybe 3 paychecks coming. So I literally have to save all 3 of them prior to Rose City Comic Con, and then decide how much of that remainder we're going to dedicate. And again, I want to pick up those last 2 books. And I'll just let you know what those last 2 books are. There's no mystery around it. There are 2 books that have been on my checklist, and I want them. I just want to this summer, once we have those 2 books in the collection, I'm good. That'll be it. I mean, that won't be end of it, but in terms of our summer budget, what we were gonna save, and that need to like pick up stuff, it's just gonna we're gonna kind of sever that cord come post Rose City Comic Con. So yeah, I mean, this summer will be rather muted. And I told myself I would stay away from half price books, but given this haul, I'm kind of glad I hit up half price books, especially with all the new inventory and stuff. I mean, you know, there are only 1,000 of these were printed, only 1,000. So I have one of those, and that's just kind of a cool thing. Getting this for a quarter. So I think for me, I will always kind of be hitting up half price books, maybe after work or something, where we have extra time. Um, and so hopefully I will always just have like 10 to $20 in my wallet to kind of entertain these kinds of pickups. But again, paying $2 here. So for example, this is a book we paid uh, $2.50 for. Okay, key first issue, Boba Fett cover. Um, you know, Plenty of room for this to uh, be a really key collectible in the future, or uh, just get lost in the swarm of all the Star Wars garbage that comes out. And this will just be like $10 at most, right? Um, and I think it will be something that will be $10 at most. I don't think there's a lot of intrinsic value in this because it seems like Disney's moved on from Boba Fett, um, and which is was and they replaced Boba Fett with the shinier, younger, uh, with the cuter sidekick, um, and that's the Mandalorian, which is fine. I think the Mandalorian, has potential to be as cool as Boba Fett. But for us old school guys, we like the Boba. Um, but yeah, you know, picking this up for half a cover, was that the best thing? I mean, we want to spend $2. When we put patience and like supporting local businesses at the forefront, we can get like really good deals, and you can get um, really key books for during a $2 or dollar sale, or if you're lucky in the dollar bin sometimes on a lot of these modern books as well, especially. So that's where I think, like, yeah, we paid what was it, 250 for this, and this probably wouldn't end up at Jeff's quarter bin, especially in this kind of condition. If it does end up at Mill Geek for 50 cents, which it could, but I rarely see Star Wars books in Mill Geek, and if they're there, I'm sure most people are probably picking them up for 50 cents a cover. So um, yeah, so I just basically what I'm trying to say is like the half price books will always have good stuff, but I think what we want to try to do now is spend money, because $2 at an LCS, you can actually pick up way more than you could at half price books with $2. Um, you know, you could pick up 8 books at Jeff's from the quarter bins. You could pick up 4 books from Mill Geek, um, as opposed to just one kind of key book like this, right? So I mean, maybe this ultimately has more value than the 4 books you could pick up at Mill Geeks, but I've been able to pick up like, $10 books. So, with the four, assuming we get 4 books, we could potentially pick up $40. Sorry, yeah, $40 with the value, right? $10 per book. So, um, yeah, I know I've. Oh, another thing, real cool thing I picked up. I think it's cool. Is we went to Daiso, and Daiso had these cool. They're like magazine holders, okay, but they're perfect for slabs. You can put your slabs in here, and they just sit up. They just kind of sit up on this shelf here. Very cool. So let's see, I got 2 of those today, and I put my, Mirror, Gimli, and Batman up there. So yeah, in terms of the presentation, we've got more of these. And I took this one out. I'm going to use this now to show off books maybe here. This is the previous one that we had somewhere up here. We replaced it. These are so much better in terms of presenting, especially these. This holds the slab nice and secure, and I mean, if I could, I would get all of those and replace all of these, but I do think these have utility as well because they fold and they collapse, so they take up less space. But yeah, it's been a fun, get this book out. This is one of the books we picked up this summer. My baby. And it's really cool because I can read the katakana. This is Sairoku. So it's Sai. It's just a shortened version of Sairoku. And she writes a bunch of notes in Japanese here, and I just think it's really cool. She even draws out like the lunch that Sai would have packed on a journey like this. 2 rice balls that are onigiri. That's just what makes this. You guys have got to support and read Demon Days. Demon Days is absolutely incredible work, and we're lucky to have Peach Momoko giving us this rich sort of ancient folk, kind of like folktale, superhero comic book folk, Japanese folktale. And so I just think, that universe expanding and growing, and people buying into that because of the art, because of the great comic book work that Peach does in those pages. Yeah, I think Demon Days is a very, very bright future. And Peach Momoko, she can do anything she wants. So it looks like Demon Days has sprouted its own sort of following or cult following, which is great. But I hope she just doesn't get. I hope it doesn't define what she can do in the medium, because I would like to see her. I would really love to see her on. Like, I'd like to see her do. It's got to be something like. I mean, her work on Star Wars. I think it was Darth Vader, Black, White, and Red, or Red, Black, and White, whatever it is. She did one of the stories in that, and it was just absolutely like it gave you goosebumps. It was just a goosebump comic book reading. Um, so I think like doing like something where you can add a good amount of horror, um, like images that are just stark and kind of shocking. Like the more you can add that, um, the black, white, and the blood, the black, white, and red, which is blood, right? So her ability to kind of use that, the blood and something, um, you know, that fits her style, basically, like something dark, something a little bit. Uh, First of all, most of what she draws is like very beautiful. So she kind of contrasts beauty with death. Um, like young, strong female characters. Um, dealing with like whatever obstacles and challenges. A lot of her cover work just kind of like adds depth to each of the characters. Case in point, like just all this symbolism, or I don't even I can't even interpret the symbolism, but I'm sure there's a lot here that's being said that I just don't know. But what you're left with is just this, um, you know, consider a more nuanced view of Usagi. Let's just say when he's put in a frame like this and featured. All right, well, enough blabbing from me. I'm gonna take off and enjoy the rest of my hard cider. I got some strawberry hard cider. I don't know why it's not that good, but we'll see you in the next one. All right, take care, comic fan. Otakus out.